On September 26, 1983, one man had 23 minutes to decide the fate of the entire human race. He made the right choice. And nobody thanked him for it. It was just past midnight in Moscow. Lieutenant Colonel Stanislav Petrov was the duty officer at Serpukhov 15, the Soviet Union's early warning command center. His job was simple. Watch the screen. If American missiles appeared, report it up the chain. The Soviets would launch their own missiles in response. And human civilization would end. At 12:14 a.m., the alarm went off. The screen showed a single American Minuteman missile, launched from a base in Montana, heading straight for the Soviet Union. The word on the screen flashed in bright red letters, launch. Petrov's standing orders were clear. Report the launch immediately. Soviet protocol would then trigger a full nuclear counterattack. Over 5,000 nuclear warheads aimed at every major city in the United States and Europe. The Americans would detect the Soviet launch and fire back. Within an hour, an estimated 500 million people would be dead. Petrov stared at the screen. Something felt wrong. Why would America launch just one missile? A real first strike would involve hundreds of missiles, launched simultaneously to overwhelm Soviet defenses. One missile made no tactical sense. It could be a decoy, a test, or a system error. He had 23 minutes before the missile would theoretically reach Soviet territory. 23 minutes to decide. Then the alarm screamed again. A second missile. Then a third. A fourth. A fifth. 5 American missiles, all heading toward the Soviet Union. The room erupted in panic. Officers shouted. The siren was deafening. Every protocol, every training manual, every standing order told Petrov to pick up the phone and report a confirmed American nuclear attack. He didn't. He picked up the phone and reported a system malfunction. He had no proof. He had no data to support his decision. He was directly contradicting what the billion-dollar Soviet satellite system was telling him. If he was wrong, and these were real missiles, the Soviet Union would be destroyed without ever firing back. He would be personally responsible for the deaths of millions of his own countrymen. The next 23 minutes were the longest of his life. The missiles never came. Petrov was right. The Soviet satellite system had malfunctioned. Sunlight reflecting off high-altitude clouds above North Dakota had created a false signature that the system interpreted as missile launches. A software bug. A glitch. 5 false signals that nearly ended the world. Here's what makes this story even more terrifying. Petrov was not supposed to be on duty that night. He was filling in for a colleague who called in sick. The regular duty officer was known to be a strict by-the-book follower of protocol. Military analysts believe he would have reported the launch as real. Petrov was reprimanded for failing to follow proper procedures in his incident report. He was not punished, but he was not rewarded either. The Soviet military buried the incident. It remained classified for over a decade. Petrov left the military, suffered a nervous breakdown, and lived in a small apartment outside Moscow on a pension of $200 a month. The man who saved the world lived in near poverty. The story only became public in 1998 when a retired Soviet general mentioned it in his memoirs. Petrov received some international recognition late in life. The United Nations acknowledged him. A documentary was made. He received a few awards from Western organizations. He died on May 19, 2017, alone in his apartment. He was 77 years old. The world didn't find out about his death until September, 4 months later. Every person alive today owes their existence to the fact that on one random night in 1983, one man trusted his gut over his instruments. And nobody thanked him for it. If you found this fascinating, subscribe for more stories like this. We post new videos every week.